So in this video I'm going to talk about giving instructions. This is a really important part of classroom language, and even if you're doing student-centered classes with lots of activities, you're still going to be giving lots of instructions and setting up activities. So this presentation is going to be all about how to give effective instructions. And the first tip I want to give you is related to the pictures you can see right now on the presentation. So have a look at the two teachers here and have a look at the way that they are standing and the way that they are holding their materials. So when you get the student's attention and you're about to give some instructions, one of the first things you want to do is show the materials that you're going to be using. So in these pictures you can see now, the students are holding the materials close to their chest. This is called chesting. So make sure everybody can see the materials. And chesting is one of the most useful kind of regular stances that we will take with our body. So when you get the attention, you want to hold the materials in front of you so all of the students can see, and then you can point to the specific parts of the materials and you can give the instructions at that time. Okay, let's move on. So here's an example of some instructions. I'm just going to read these instructions to you. Okay, everybody, listen to me. Sit down and take a piece of paper. Fold it in half and then pick up a pencil. Draw a house with 4 rooms on the paper and write bathroom, bedroom, kitchen and living room for each one. Then draw a toy in each room, for example, a yo-yo, a kite or a robot. Then tell me, for example, the robot is in the bedroom. I will listen and draw. Okay? Do you understand? Go. Okay, now imagine a teacher gave instructions like that in a classroom. Would that be a good way to give instructions? How can we improve this set of instructions? Okay, well, one of the important answers here is that the instructions are all given in one time. They're all given at the same time. It's too much for students to take in all of the steps of an activity at one time. So let's have a look at some improved instructions. So here you can see the instructions are split into step-by-step parts. So let's look at these instructions. Okay, everybody, listen to me. Stop, wait. Is everybody ready? Okay. Sit down and take a piece of paper. Stop and wait. Fold it in half and then pick up a pencil. Again, you can stop and wait. Check if everybody has a pencil. Check if everybody's paper is ready. Okay, next. Draw a house with 4 rooms. What do we draw? How many rooms? So these are questions. Now write bathroom, bedroom, kitchen and living room for each room. What do we write? How do you write bathroom? Okay, so notice with these instructions they're split part by part, step by step. At the beginning, stop and wait and check. And then later on in the instructions, there are some checking questions. What do we draw? The answer, a house. How many rooms? 4 rooms. And the final instructions, what do we write? Bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, and living room. And there's another question, how do you spell bathroom? B-A-T-H-R-O-O-M. Okay. So here you've got step-by-step instructions and you've got checking questions. We're going to talk about checking questions more in this presentation later on. Okay, so some more about giving instructions. Here are some general tips and suggestions. I found this online. Be clear. Okay, so this is an acronym and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the presentation. So number 1, break things down piece by piece, okay? Don't give all the instructions in one go. Give a little bit of instructions and then wait, check everybody's ready, check the materials are ready and then give the next instructions. So number 2, explain the activity, okay? Let students hear the instructions and also to see the teacher go through the actions as well. Number 3, create a step-by-step outline. You might break down the activity into parts. So you might do the first part of the activity with the first set of instructions, and then later you might give some other instructions. Number 4, let students see what the activity looks like. You might have something prepared, ready, that shows them what the final outcome of the activity is going to look like. Number 5, this is a good tip, experiment with a student, okay? Especially something like a role play or a pair or a group activity. You can ask a student to come to the front of the class and you can demonstrate the activity with a student and show the class how the group activity is going to work. Number 6, assess their understanding. So check their understanding. You can do this visually, you can do this with questions. And finally, number 7, repair misunderstandings. Okay, so use checking questions, use the demonstration, use visual aids if needed to check and repair any misunderstandings in the instructions. Okay, let's move on. So now let's look at the components of instructions, the parts that we need to include when we're giving instructions. So first, get attention. Okay, before you start giving instructions, you need to make sure everybody's attention is with the teacher. So then you don't need to repeat things again and again. Okay, number 2, transition. So this is moving from the past activity, kind of finishing off the past activity, and moving attention to the new materials or the new activity. Number 3, identify the material. So is it using a worksheet? Is it using the textbook? Maybe something on the whiteboard? Maybe you have another set of materials that you need to take out to show the students that this is the next thing we're going to be working with. Now you can explain the activity and model or demonstrate the activity. Okay, so now you can start giving the step-by-step instructions and demonstrating either with the teacher or with the teacher and the student. Next, explain the class organization. So is the activity an individual activity? Is it a group activity? Maybe the students start by doing some individual preparation, and then later on they're going to get together into groups, or maybe different groups are going to work together. So you need to let the students know what is the organization that you're using for the activity. Next, check that students have understood. So here you want to ask checking questions and find out their understanding. Okay, number 7 is time limit. Some activities you want to give a short, quick kind of time limit so students know they have to quickly finish the task, or you might be giving like lots of time for discussion, so then you can let them know that they have 10 minutes or a little bit longer for this activity. Okay, and finally this is the execution command, go or start or something like that. So when you've finished all of your instructions, you can let the students know that you're finished and it's time for the students to start. Okay, let's look at these in more detail with some examples of classroom language. So, first was getting attention. Okay, everybody, let's move on. Is everybody ready? And this is transition, so classroom language. Next, we're going to, let's look at this now. Here I have, so here we're transitioning. Number 3, identifying the materials. On this worksheet, on the board, these flashcards, I have here some sentence strips. And number 4, explain classroom organization. With your partner, in pairs. Make groups of 3. First, do it by yourself. And number 5, explain the activity. Here are the instructions for the activity. I want you to match the pictures with the words. Listen and put them in the right order. So here is the classroom language for the instructions. And number 6, model the activity. Can I have a volunteer to help me show you? Watchers do this. Let me show you with Jihan. Okay, so you might have a student with you and you model the activity. Okay, and we're almost at the end now. Number 7, checking questions. Let me check. Where do you write? Will you show your partner? And what do you match? Here are some checking questions. Time limit, number 8. I'll give you 1 minute. You have 5 minutes, so take your time. Tell me when you're finished. And finally, execute command. Are you ready? Go or start. Okay, so let the students know that the instructions are finished and the students can start the activity. Okay, now let's have a look at some checking questions with instructions. These are called ICQs, instruction checking questions. Okay, so do you understand? Is this a good checking question? No. It doesn't really check that students understand. Okay, do you understand? You might get a yes or a nod of the head or something like that. But the answer to the question doesn't actually check that students really understand. Okay, so it's better to ask specific questions, and the answer to those questions allows you to check whether students understand. So the responses allow you to check understanding. The response that the students give show you that they understand. Okay, you can ask a mix of right and wrong questions. Okay, so you can ask questions where the answer is no also. It's a good idea to ask ICQs near the end of your instruction. So give some of the information related to the instructions and then use checking questions just before you're going to start the activity. Okay, so here are some examples, ICQ examples. Work together with your partner. Okay, do you do this alone? That's a checking question. Don't turn it over. Wait until the other team guesses. When do you turn it over? When the other team guesses. Choose 3 cards. How many cards do you choose? Think of a word, but don't tell the other team. Do you tell the other team? Read and circle the animal words. Which words do you circle? Okay, so have a look at these instructions. The answers to these instructions are given in the instructions. Sorry, the answers to the questions, the ICQs, are given in the instructions. So the questions are just checking the instructions that you've just given. Okay. Okay, so my final tip about giving instructions, for advanced level students, you can ask individuals or the class to repeat or explain the instructions back to you. Okay, this is a nice way of checking instructions without asking ICQs. Okay, so you can just ask a student or you can ask the class to tell you and explain back to you what the students need to do. This is another way of checking. Okay, so I hope this video has been useful about giving instructions. It's a really important part of teaching. So think about the instructions that you're giving. Think about giving clear instructions, step by step, and also the parts of the instructions, the components, and using checking questions. And don't forget to model and show the materials, perhaps with chesting, to the class so everybody can see easily the materials that you're going to be using for the next task. Okay, I hope this was useful. Thank you.